England is frequently cited by historians as the oldest example of a mature nation, or the prototype of the nation state. This designation stems from the early development of a unified national identity, a strong central government, and a cohesive language-based culture, which emerged well before similar developments in other European nations. Now, it's generally thought English identity emerged from the Anglo-Saxon period after the fall of Rome and Britain and became a unified kingdom in the 10th century, about 927 AD, under Aethelstan, uniting Anglo-Saxon kingdom. Aethelstan is considered the first king to unite the region that resembled modern England, acting as the first true unifier. His grandfather, Alfred the Great, defended Wessex and laid the groundwork by adopting the title King of the Anglo-Saxons. But it was Aethelstan who conquered the last Viking kingdom of York in 927, becoming the first king to entirely rule the territory. The Norman conquest of 1066 added another influence to the culture. And by the 13th century, England had developed mature institutions such as Parliament and a highly developed legal system, or common law, that commanded loyalty solidified by the Magna Carta. All this long before many nations even existed. So I think over the centuries, events like the Magna Carta, the English Reformation in the 16th century, and the Industrial Revolution of the 18th, 19th centuries fostered a history of individualism, parliamentary democracy, and innovation as all marks of Englishness. Now, very often Englishness and Britishness are used together in some contexts, but the two terms are not identical and the relation is quite complex to explain it. I suppose culturally, English identity is often linked to symbols and traditions like the English language, tea drinking, pub culture, Shakespeare, dry sense of humour, queuing etiquette, cream teas, and sports like cricket, football and rugby. The English countryside, with its rolling hills, small quaint villages and pubs, also play a role in the romanticised self-image. Almost the opposite when you compare it with urban centres like London, a global melting pot. And socially, English identity is tied to values like fair play, politeness, understatement, the stiff upper lip, I suppose, and not so long ago, parliamentary democracy, which we are gradually losing. Many ancient monuments, like standing stones, were erected during the prehistoric period in England. Amongst best known is Stonehenge and Avebury. They're known worldwide and are very English, I think. English architecture. Many say that began with the architecture of the Anglo-Saxons, and at least 50 surviving English churches are of Anglo-Saxon origin. I've been to see quite a few of them myself, although in some cases the Anglo-Saxon parts are small and much altered, but they're still there. And many of the English cathedrals are ancient, dating back as far back as the 700s in some cases. I think they're a major aspect of the country's heritage. Now, Englishness has sometimes been characterised as a more exclusive ethno-nationalist identity rooted in being white. Now, this suggests that the education system focuses on the negative aspects of English history, like slavery and colonisation, without balancing it with achievements in science and law, has made the younger generation more likely to view national pride with suspicion. Despite these views, many argue, myself as well, that it is possible to be proudly English without being a bloody racist. Some people find displays of patriotism unnecessary, but I'd point to the following reasons for a sense of belonging and pride. I mean, England's got a long history of thinkers who fundamentally reshaped the world. Things like Sir Isaac Newton, who discovered gravity, Charles Darwin, evolution, and Stephen Hawking with his black hole radiation thinking. Also inventions such as the World Wide Web. Yeah, that was invented by an Englishman, Tim Berners-Lee. The first computer, Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace. And vaccines, Edward Jenner. Some of them surprised me, but yeah, something to be proud of. I think English culture holds a dominant global position, with its language, media, traditions shaping modern international trends more profoundly than most. There's a literary giants, from the timeless plays of William Shakespeare to the works of Chaucer, Milton and George Orwell. We've got a legacy of global musical leaders like Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Robbie Williams, and world-renowned sitcoms with our English sense of humour. England is also the birthplace of sports like football, cricket and rugby, which are played by billions of people now all around the world. And I think our unique sense of humour, its self-deprecating sense of humour and a cynical disdain for taking oneself too serious. Then you've got English politeness, which a lot of countries could have learned from us. We've got weird traditions like the ritual of queuing, apologising and a stiff upper lip. And England is full, it's got a dense concentration of castles, palaces, cathedrals that date back thousands of years. And their amazing diverse landscape, from the rolling hills of the south to the moors of Yorkshire and the lakes of the Lake District. And I don't think it's been ethno-nationalist or racist to be proud of some of our history, what I've just mentioned. People from other countries are proud of what they've achieved. Why can't we be proud of it?